Welcome back, guys. We are flying through this series. We are learning so much on this journey. It's so great. I'm glad that I get to share it with you. Today, we are going to be looking at an interview. So, as you know, recently I've started to identify one barrier or one challenge that I'm having while doing those longer runs is the fact that just that mental toll that it's going to take on me. And I know it's only just going to get worse and worse as we go through the whole running process and getting towards like running a marathon. So for me, I'm going to try and look into some ways that I can strengthen my mental, the mental side of running. And so I reached out to a good friend of mine, a family friend that I've known for many years. She has ran 58 marathons. She had like a reason for running those 58 marathons, which I want to understand whether that actually helps you, whether having that cause to run for is something that will benefit you when you're on race day. So today's interview is with her. I've known her for 20 years, nearly 20 years next year. She's someone that, I look up to. She's also someone that I also see as like my second mum. I call her like my American mother. I stayed with her family when I was 12 years old, played baseball over there. So it was really cool to kind of like get an opportunity to talk to her and get to learn about it all. So today's sponsor, though, let's get into it. None other than my good friends Chobani Fit. They've sent me out another packet of the tropical yogurts, Greek yogurts, no sugar, 15 grams of protein. We need that protein, as I've been learning about. We need that protein. So thanks to Chobani for their support in this series. They're helping me be stronger, recover better. And without them, we'd be lost. So thank you to Chobani, and let's get into today's episode.
All
Okay.
right. So I just want to say thank you for taking some time out of your very busy schedule. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's good to speak to you. You have a lot of experience running marathons, so there's someone in my community that will help me out a lot throughout this whole journey. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Um, we'll just jump right into the first question. So you've ran 58 marathons, which to me is insane. I think just saying that is ridiculous.
Love it.
What reason did you run all these marathons for?
I thank you, first of all, for having me. It is a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to share my journey with somebody who cares about listening to it. My mom passed away when I was 37 years old, and I really needed some kind of outlet. So I started walking with a friend. Walking turned into a lot of miles, which took too long. So then we started running. And it was that initial outlet that just helped give me some mind body balance that I found very beneficial. And then fast forward to 2017, when my family was at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. It was a music festival in Las Vegas, Nevada,
Hmm.
and there was a mass shooting. And my family came home from that shooting, and 58, we called them our angels, 58 angels did not come home from that night.
Hmm.
And so we decided that we would make it a goal to run 58 marathons, honoring each one of the 58 angels. And it took the journey lasted 8 years, and it took on a life of its own, so to speak, with a lot of healing, a lot of sharing, a lot of supporting, and realizing that community is everything.
Hmm.
The people in your life, in your world, are everything.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like, I just think that's like to take just a hobby of running into something that means a lot more to other people is incredible. Um, how does having a cause or I guess a reason for you running those marathons, how did that change the way you approach a race mentally?
It When you have something bigger outside of yourself, for me, it reminds me that um, there are causes and things that are bigger than me and just my hobbies or my wants or needs or those kinds of things. It reminds me to not feel sorry for myself,
Hmm.
that there are people who have struggled much more than I have, and that doing something challenging reminds me of that. It
Yeah,
reminds me that there's people out there who have a lot more challenges than I do. And so I can't feel sorry for myself.
you just got to keep going through it. Beautiful.
Of course.
I guess how do you when you're running and even like when you're training and stuff like that and you're feeling tired and hurting, how did you reconnecting with that purpose, that why help you out?
It was very tangible for me and the people that I run with, because the 58 faces and the 58 names became very real and very intimate to us. So it was often easy to
Mm.
connect with somebody's specific story, one of the angels, and know that they have a family that is still grieving and will always
Yeah.
grieve the loss of their loved one. So it just would shake me out of any discomfort to remember that I'm blessed and I'm here, and there are people who aren't.
Yeah.
And so that why was very easy to stay grounded
Okay.
and grounded too. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, were there any moments in a marathon where where remembering that why kind of helped you push through like a bit of a rough patch or anything?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My husband and I did uh, a mountain marathon in Mammoth Mountain, and it took us over 10 hours because it was a lot of hiking and it was pretty treacherous, but a lot of fun. And it was moments during that marathon where we both had to really dig deep. And one time in particular, I remember because there were cold spots where there was snow and we had to get through it. And I remember thinking specifically about Carrie Barnett. She was one of the angels. She was standing right next to my son and daughter-in-law, and she was shot and killed right next to them.
Mm,
And I remember during that marathon thinking, her family never gets to not they never get away from that
yeah.
grief. And you pull back and you stop and you think about your why, and you think there are people who have true difficulties. We all have true difficulties. But when you reconnect with somebody else, like
Mm,
Carrie's family, who continue to struggle, then it reminds you that, okay, I can do this. I can, we
yeah.
all suffer. And right now I might be suffering a little bit in a very, very different way, but I'll be okay. I can do this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Would you say that was like one of the harder moments in that marathon in particular, or
Because it was late in the game, but not late enough.
yeah,
And I think it was around mile 16 or so. And so we still had double digits ahead of us.
yeah,
And but it was a hard marathon. It was a really long, hard marathon. So reconnecting with your why and thinking about just getting out of your own head and thinking about other people
yeah?
is helpful.
Okay. Um,
Mhm.
that's incredible. I just like I know I've said it to you multiple times, but your story is incredible, and I think you're amazing for doing what you're doing. Um, for someone running their first marathon, me, what are some? Can you shed some insights into what are some big mental surprises that I'm going to experience in this race?
When I read that question, I was like, oh, he's talking about himself. And I love that you use the word surprises in that question because there are surprises. The for your first marathon, it I'm sorry, it will be harder than you think.
Yeah,
It really and truly will be harder than you think. And you will, I know you and your personality, you will train well and you will achieve your goal
mm,
100%. I have no doubt in my mind that you'll cross that finish line, but it will be harder than you think. But the bigger and better and more lasting surprise is that sense of accomplishment. It will be a feeling that fills you for a long time
yeah,
and it stays. And I never imagined how proud of myself I would feel after finishing the marathon. And I never imagined how long that feeling would stay.
yeah,
I it lasted over a week that I was just felt so proud that I did that, that I persevered and that I
yeah,
crossed the finish line. That really
yeah.
surprised me.
Okay, I'm like I think that's almost like the carrot that's dangling there. Is I know like it's going to be hard, but it's something I can work towards, and I'll feel quite great afterwards.
And like you, I'm a teacher. And every time I finish a marathon, I wear that because marathons are typically on Sundays. I wear that medal to work on the next day. And I do. I always have.
Yeah,
And I wear my medal to work, and my colleagues, they just think I'm silly, but they're
yeah,
proud of me. But I share my achievement with my student. I'm
yeah,
so, so happy that you're sharing this journey with your students
yeah.
because it's meaningful.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it's something that I've always admired people who are able to do it, and thought that it's something I would never be able to do. But now that I've had said I'm going to do it, I kind of have to do it. So
Yeah, you do.
I do. Um, I guess have you developed any routines or rituals as you're running, or like right before you start running to help you get like get ready to run?
Absolutely, absolutely. It for me, it starts the well. your training is weeks and weeks. But the night before, I lay everything out. I don't like using a running belt. It's just never worked for me. So I have a 4 pocket system. I know exactly what goes in each pocket. I make sure my watch is charged, my phone is charged, my earbuds are charged. It's just really critical for me the day before to make sure everything is laid out.
Hmm.
And even my peanut butter and jelly on whole wheat bread and my electrolytes, everything's laid out for
Yeah.
in the morning. And then it allows me to sleep a little bit better. I always take a shower that night before I go to bed. Just calms me down a little bit, and then I'm ready to go in the morning.
All right. Um, Even though you've ran 58 marathons, and do you'd still feel some nerves and like in the days and hours before your race? Like how do you manage those?
The starting line is the hardest. It is the worst. I always feel like throwing up. I just do. The
Yeah.
starting line is the worst. I just keep telling myself that it will be over.
Yeah.
Time will pass. I will get to the end. Sometimes it takes me my typical is between 5 and 6 hours, usually 5.5 hours. Lately I've been going under 5 hours, which is really good for me.
Yeah.
Boston qualifier is way under 4 hours, but that starting line is hard.
Yeah.
So just know that the jitters are going to be there, and you just keep talking to yourself.
Yeah.
And I kind of look around, and I like to listen to people talking
Yeah.
about. A lot of people at the starting line are talking about what got them to the starting line,
Yeah.
and that can be very, very inspiring. Yeah.
Beautiful. Um, is there a particular point in the marathon where it's more of a mental battle than like the mental challenge becomes harder than the actual physical challenge?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called the wall. And it's for me, it's miles 18 to 22. And it's rough. Those
Yeah.
miles are rough because you're tired and you're not close enough to the finish line. You haven't hit mile 20 yet. Hitting mile 20 is a really great thing. But for me, it usually lasts until about mile 22, because then when I hit mile 22, I can kind of imagine only 4 more miles. I can
Yeah.
kind of wrap my mind around it. But that buildup, it's you get really, really tired around
Yeah.
14, 15, 16. Yeah, you get really tired. And then it hits you like a wall. But maybe if you're ready for it,
Yeah.
you'll know that you can get through it. You can. You just have to keep moving.
I think it helps talking to a few people as well and understanding that there are these challenges out there and not just going in blind.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Psych yourself up for it. Talk
Yeah.
about it to yourself. Absolutely.
Mm. Across 58 marathons, what has running taught you about resilience and mental strength?
There's a saying in running that 90% of running is mental and the other 10% is all in your head. So there you have it.
Yeah.
But with distance running, you really need to remind yourself that your body can do it. Your body's been trained for it. You've practiced, you've built up to this, and the hardest part is getting your brain to do it.
Yeah.
And you just have to remind yourself, no complaining. No, no, no. It's quitting is not an option.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I can see the curb and the gutter and the side of the road, and I just want to lay down and go to sleep. Right there on the side of the road,
Mm.
just go to sleep. But you just keep reminding yourself, quitting is not an option.
Yeah.
You will finish. You will finish. And your legs hurt, your hips hurt, your back hurts, everything starts to hurt, but you just have to remind yourself, you don't get to quit.
Yeah. Are there things that you say to yourself that help you keep going? If you don't mind sharing anything?
I do. I do at every mile marker, because they have usually those big banners, big signs that say mile 1, mile 2. So at every mile marker, I pray, and I have a list of people, my family, my close friends, the Angels in Las Vegas. There was always each marathon was dedicated to one or two of the Angels,
Yeah.
and so I pray at every mile marker, and that really, really helps. That really
Okay.
helps. Yeah.
All right. After 58 marathons, which is a lot, what still motivates you to line up and run another marathon?
It's my people, of
Yeah.
course. I think of like my daughters who get up at 5 a.m., one to go to work and one to go play her sport because she's a college athlete. I think of my friends that are waiting for me because they're also somebody might be joining me for that marathon. It's my people. My
Yeah.
people in my world, like you, Richard. My people don't quit. They don't give up. That, and so I'm not allowed to quit either. No matter what your sport is, what your cause is, what your dedication is, what course you might be in high school and secondary school, whatever might be challenging for you, you keep going. You
Yeah.
keep looking at it. You don't quit. Quitting's never ever an option.
That's
Get you
amazing.
to the
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets you to the start line and it gets you to the finish
Yep.
line.
And lastly, what does finishing a marathon mean to you now compared to, your early races?
I I love that question and thank you for asking it because I'm 20 years older than when I did my first one, and I'm 20 years older now, and I've learned that it really is neat to feel proud of yourself and to set a goal and accomplish that goal. And for me with marathons, it never gets old. Every time I feel so proud of myself.
Hmm.
And I never thought about acknowledging that 20 years
Yeah.
ago in the early days. And now I think that it's really important for me, for
Yeah.
myself, to be the best version of myself, to say, I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah.
And then what I've learned through this journey is that you never know who's watching. You
Yeah.
never know who's watching you. And people will say, yeah, I remember when you did your first one and you're still doing it. Or people will give you a compliment and tell you about something that they noticed that you were doing that was admirable and they wanted to try it. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody wants to try a marathon or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think I've always admired you for running marathons. And I think like that's a large part of kind of why I've chosen this as my learning goals because it's the people around me who are able to do it. It's incredible. I'll try and
We're
work
back.
something. Yeah, we're back. So I think for me, I kind of looked at it and thought it's just amazing people who can run these marathons yourself. I was able to see it firsthand when I was over there last time. When I was it the Long Beach Marathon, I think you ran.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
You
you
were
know,
there.
just seeing that and just seeing you accomplish that feat, it kind of motivates me to think like I can do that. And seeing other people as well, not just you, but other people doing it, um, I think it's really inspiring. And I know it's challenging as well. It's something that's for me, it's really far away. Well, not really far away, but it's like for me to do it, I'm going to have to work hard and be consistent with it. So you know, I I think it's just I'm excited, but I'm also nervous at the same time. So
And
it's good
you
to
have
hear that you still
motivated.
get nerves, though.
Oh my gosh, of course. And you have motivated others. There might be people around here that might be doing their first one.
Really? Okay,
You
right.
you can message Anne Marie, ask her who that might be.
Really? Wow. Well, good luck to her.
She's got money down. She's ready to start training.
Yeah, I put the money on the table, bought the ticket,
That's
and
right.
so I've got to do it.
It's an investment in yourself.
Yeah,
And by
looking forward
investing
to it.
in yourself, you're investing in all the people that you love and who
Hmm.
you value.
And
Absolutely.
I think for me as well, it's like a little bit like, do you? This is completely off topic, but do you feel like you're a healthier person because of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because you can't, you, for marathons, you have to really balance your mental health and your physical health uh, because takes a lot out of you to get
yeah,
across the finish line. I've definitely done marathons where I was not as physically fit and my health and my nutrition wasn't as good as it should have been. And you can feel it. It doesn't feel good.
mm,
So yeah, now I'm much better at it. I just try not to go up and down with my
yeah.
health and my weight and stuff like that. I just try to stay a little bit more consistent.
Okay,
But oh, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Longevity for your health, it's really, really good.
Because I think that's a big reason around like my why is like long term health, like it's important to me. Um, So,
Yeah.
and having good heart health as well. My family has a history of both my grandparents had both my grandfathers had quadruple bypasses. So I know, like, whilst they didn't have the best diet, they smoked and they drank a fair bit. Like,
Right.
it's still for me, like, something that's important. And I know I got to be aware of that. And
Right.
so I
Right.
think this will hopefully help that.
Oh, it absolutely will. It absolutely will because before your runs, like you have the day before you run and you know that you want to eat properly and not drink because you're running the next day. And then you do that, 3, 4 times a week. And so pretty soon it's taking up your entire week. And
Yeah.
then as you specifically train for a marathon or a half marathon or something like that, then you really start to see the benefits of proper nutrition and
Yeah.
how that helps you with your sport. And it's something that's so meaningful to you that you're going to want to do all you can do.
Yeah.
And like you said, for your family, you need the cardio, you need that heart health. And running is one of those things that seems to really balance the physical and the mental health.
Mm.
When, yeah, as you start going for those longer runs and it just it gets you out of your own head
Yeah.
and you just have time and space to think in your music and
Yeah.
it does feel good. It doesn't feel good when you start, but it feels good when you finish.
Yeah. I think, like, at the moment, especially in my training, like, I think that's why I found it important that I speak to you, is because that's where I was starting to hit, like, especially on my longer runs,
Yeah.
just getting a bit bored.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely helped me out getting your insight, that's for sure.
Oh, my pleasure, Richard. I can't wait to watch you as you move through this journey. It's going to
Yeah.
be a good one.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun. It's going to be
I'll
challenging, but it'll be good.
I'll be following you on May 3rd from a
Uh,
distance.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And that is all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed that interview. For me, it was a really cool experience to go through that. Even just watching back and editing it, I really enjoyed that. So for me, my main takeaway was that I think I'm going to actually have a purpose to run for. So I think I'm going to launch a fundraiser that I'll be raising money towards, something that purpose that I have to help me get through the runs, because I know it's going to be a really big mental battle that I'm going to have to get through. And just hearing that and how that's kind of having that something outside of yourself to run for, I think that'll help me out, especially when I'm starting to get really bogged down and when I hit that wall that they talk about. So, keep your eyes peeled for what that's going to look like. But yeah, massive shout out today. We'll give the shout out to Christine. I can't thank her enough for her time. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Remember, I'm going to ask you the sponsor, the shout out, and what color shirt I was wearing. Okay, those three things I want to know. All right. Thank you guys. Tune in for next week's episode, which, as you know, drops at 3 p.m. If you don't know, smash that subscribe button down below.